Hello there, welcome to another Swinging Steve's Bargain Beer Review. And what a better beer to review on a Sunday than Man's Brown Ale. Now if that don't eke of tradition and British values, then I don't know what does. Nice little cap, Man's Brown Ale. I'll be keeping that one in my collection. Might do a little video on my collection one day if you're interested. So there we go. So what do we know about Man's Brown Ale? I don't even know where this thing's brewed anymore. Oh, it's got a lovely sweetness on the nose, that. Lovely sweetness. So let's talk about pricing. Now, let's take into account here, I don't want to read about the beer itself. 2.8%, so it's not a strong one, so it's a nice session beer. This comes in at £1 and 10p from Marstons. £1 and 10p. On the nose, it's got a lovely sweet, a little bit nutty, a little bit toffee aroma to it. So let's talk about the alcoholic volume. So brown beer, milds, best bitters, quite often add low ABVs, mainly because the steel workers and or any workers for that matter, steel workers and factory workers would go into the pub at dinner time and they could probably neck a couple of these down and not feel the effect of the alcohol, but still get the taste of the beer. So traditionally, that's why we get a lot of ABV beers. It's one of the reasons anyway. I'm sure there's many more. That's why porters aren't as strong as stouts, because porters were for the porters in London. So people ferrying in and off of boats, moving stuff about, they could have a porter and it wouldn't be too strong. But it had all the flavour characteristics of a stout, you know. So here we go. We've got about half a finger's worth of head there. And it's a very dark brown colour. It's almost like got a red hue to it, that as well. Let's go in. Oh. One more on the nose. Yeah, getting like a little bit of bonfire toffee on that. A little bit of sweetness. Yeah, let's go in. God, it's been a long time since I've drunk this and I'm pleasantly surprised. It's quite nice, that. It's very light beer. It's not something you could probably drink after drinking something else. So if you had a really hoppy beer then you drunk this, you'd probably not even notice it. But on a Sunday like today, I've not had anything else. No other flavour profiles on my palate. It's got a lovely... It has got a bonfire toffee going on. It's got this lovely, sweet, caramelly, slight fruitcake note going on. It's almost got a little bit of a stickiness to it, actually. The body's thin to medium, I'd say. Thin to medium. It's not as thin as I thought it would be. It's a nice body, actually. Got some nice lacing on that glass. Get slight berry notes in it. Maybe a slight cherry, actually. It's almost got a little bit of a confectionery feel to it. Let's go in again. Almost got like a bit of a Green King sort of flavour. But the finish is really nice. It's got a nice middle. It's got a nice finish. It's got this lovely, it dissipates. It's like a really nice, almost like a light brown sugar. Almost like a sweetness sort of effect that lingers on your tongue. That's actually really pleasant. It's really nice. Right, let's fill her up, shall we? Don't think it's conditioned. So I've got the whole thing in there. But it's a sweetness that's unique to this beer. It's very pleasant. Right on the edge of your tongue. Almost like a little bite. You've dipped your tongue on some sweetener without the soapiness that you get from sweetener sometimes. Perfect. It was perfect. Perfect finish to the beer, that one. God, I talk rubbish sometimes, don't I? Yeah. Almost got like a Coca-Cola feel to this beer, actually. Like quite a flat Coca-Cola. Because the carbonation's it's very, very And it suits the style of the beer completely, by the way, but it's not very carbonated. It's very, what's the word to describe it? Not, it almost feels like it's flat, but it's just enough. It can't be flat because it's got a head on it, and the head will disappear quite quickly. But it's perfect for this style of beer. I really like that. I must admit, I really like that. Yeah. This is how it's described. Mans is the original brown ale, first brewed at Mans Whitechapel Brewery in 1902. The historic recipe produces dark, rich, full-bodied ale with a luscious flavour that hits of roasted creamy toffee. I'm not sure if it's that creamy. But it's actually quite smooth. It's got smoothness to it, which is quite luscious, I must admit. Yeah, man's beer. Man beer for a real man. And for £1, I mean, we've not got much ABV in there, have we? We've got to take that into consideration. Where's it brewed? Brewed and bottled by Marstons. Oh, God. Oh. But it says at the top, first brewed in London in 1902. Complex blend of pale and dark roasted malts still lies in the heart of this classic English beer. Doesn't taste very Marsden in that for me. I mean, you could. It's very traditional, but you're getting a slight roastedness, a little bit of an earthiness from the hops, some very characteristic maybe of some Marsden beers. But I wouldn't drink that and go, oh God, it's quite Marsden's Day. It's actually reminds me more of Green King for some reason. But there we go. Brewed in Wolverhampton. Must be one of Marsden's other plants. Park Brewery, Wolverhampton. So yeah, anyway. Thanks for watching, by the way. It's always good talking. Talking about beer. Right, scores on the board. Scores on the board, what am I going to give this? This beer for me is everything, pretty much everything it says on the tin. It's got tradition to it. It's a shame it's brewed in. I'm not going to let that put me off that it's brewed in Marstons, because I do think like the flavour profiles of this beer are unique. They are unique. It's got a lovely sweetness to it, little toffee notes. It's quite smooth, and I tell you what, it is good if you're a person that doesn't like stouts. Try something like this. Go for this first, because it's a little bit of a bridging block, because it has got light roasted notes, little characteristics that you'll get in a stout, but it's got this overwhelming sweetness, easiness to drink. I think this beer is lovely. I'm going to give this, for £1, £1.10 paid for that. 500ml bottle. Gets an 8.3 out of 10. It's an excellent beer. It is an excellent beer. And you swish it around, you do get a little fruit note, like little slightly boozy fruity notes, little cherryness on it maybe. Yeah. Lovely. It gets, anyone from America watching this, pick one of them up. It's a really unique British beer, that. Anyone from States, pick that up. You can get hold of it if you're watching this. Anyone from another country really, but this is quintessentially a British beer that I think the recipe does taste pretty good, and I don't know what other people's views are on this beer, but I think that's lovely. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be a bit rubbish, but it weren't. So there we go. It's got a little bit of a bitterness on the back end as well. Just add a little bit there, but not much. So I've been Swinging Steve. See you on the next beer review. I've given it 8.3 out of 10. Cracking beer. See you next time. Bye.